smarter than me, would not be late for an award ceremony. Absolutely not. And I thank her from the bottom of my heart, and appreciate my brother Steve and Jan are back where we were staying with my two kids. I'm glad my kids aren't here. They would have not stolen the show, but taken over the show for sure. But I thank them. I just want to say two things because you've been waiting so long. But one is another reason why the award is important to me, because as a Jew myself, and then learning about Korczak, not being taught about him in school, any of the post-secondary school or high school, it's an important legacy and something I'm proud of in all sorts of ways. And it's not just a story of him, which probably everybody here would know of him going to his death with his children, but he's known when I had the chance to meet child advocates in Europe. He's known as the father of children's rights, but we don't know that here. And he's a pediatrician, and he centered his work on the belief that children are people, that it takes a village, that rights are important for children. Children's rights are human rights. He sometimes didn't even want to make a distinction between children's rights and human rights because worrying that it might set children apart from not being seen as people. And all of that work he did, was an underlying foundation of anything I did and my staff and young people did. And that's the last group I want to thank, which is, I accept this statuette, it's so important to me. But I know I was walking in the light of amazing young people in the province, in my province, amazing staff who actually did most of the work and the heavy lifting, and it's really important for me and them to know that I accept this on their behalf, because they too need that acknowledgement, I think. They will go on and continue to be child advocates in their own right in any way they can, including the young people. But it's really amazing that you acknowledge their work. So thank you for that. Lastly, when I think of Korczak, I had this opportunity to help translate a book into English. And it was the memoirs of a man named Shlomo Nadel who lived in Korczak's orphanage in Warsaw. And I met the biographer, and we worked with the association and Jerry on doing that. And my goal at the time when I did that, I was thinking, if Korczak can run an orphanage in the ghetto in Warsaw in a way that is respectful of children, we can do that here. It was to say, we know the problems. It's possible. It's possible. And I remember a story that Shlomo had told the biographer, and my recollection of hearing the story was that Shlomo said, there was a lot of good things and rights and participation, and it was not oversold how the home was run. What he remembered almost most, though, was that from time to time on special occasions, Korczak would go into the ghetto, by that time it was walled, and try and find sweet cakes, sweet treats that he could. And from time to time, he would bring it at night after begging for it from the bakeries and put a little piece of cake on all the children's beds in the orphanage. And Shlomo said something like the translation I heard was, and when I ate that cake, it tasted like love. And I used to think, because young people said this in Ontario, that the goal, what we really needed to do, was tell these stories to the policymakers, the legislators. And I did, and a deputy minister had said to me, Erwin, and I heard this a lot, well, what do you want me to do with that? You can't legislate love. And I talked to some young people and said, well, what do you say to that? And one of them said, tell the deputy minister that you can't. He's right. But you can legislate the conditions in which love can flourish. And for me, when I think about our project, for all of us, that's our work, is to figure out how to help government begin to think how to legislate, how to regulate, how to create policy, how to create programs, how to practice in a way that creates the conditions in which love can flourish. And we can make that practical. And to me, that's what I'll dedicate some time to in the future. How do we do that? Because that's where I thought we were in Ontario, is make that leap. And I think now of J.S. Woodsworth and him saying, may we take our place in the world's work and the world's struggles. And I intend to keep doing that, and I hope you do too, and I will do it always carrying this statuette in my heart. So thank you, everyone.